Hi. Now that you've planned your product and you know what it is that you want to convince the sharks to invest in, you're going to need to work on persuading them to invest. We're going to go through the 4 parts of an advertisement to help you do that. So you're really going to compose an elevator pitch, and there are 4 parts that you need to know about. The first part is the hook. Think of it like a fishing analogy. Then you're going to include information about your product. The third section is the call to action. And fourth is your tagline at the end of your pitch. Now we're going to go through each of these parts in more detail. First is the hook, and this is when you really have to grab the attention of your audience. Remember, I said it's just like fishing, so we have to catch them and keep them on the hook. It should be interesting to make the person stick around and pay attention to what else you have to say. You have to know, what do you want your audience to do, think, or feel, but we don't want it to take forever. People don't have long attention spans, so you've got to make sure that your hook will catch them and keep them and not take forever to do it. Last, you really want to try to make your hook creative, memorable, and unique so that your audience enjoys it. Let's take a look at some examples. We have 2 major types of ads. The first is a print ad, and this is something that you might see in an advertisement on the side of a website, or if you have a magazine or something like that that's static. Here we have a print ad that is for De Beers, which is a jeweler. You see the diamond at the top, and then we have the black and white text, so it's very striking. It says, "Remember when you got that variable speed hammer drill?" It'll make her feel kind of like that. So it's appealing to a moment that's supposed to be exciting and telling you that you should buy something for somebody. Now let's take a look at an example in video. So let's see about the hook. You're supposed to feel some suspense. And we want to ask ourselves, what is happening here? All right, so we have some action. Is it for a broom? Is it for a razor? What is this commercial for? We're on the hook. They've baited us. Keep watching. Let's find out what we're really supposed to buy at the end.
Oh, there you are.
You forgot to lock the car again.
I did? Sorry.
All right, so it's a car commercial, and it's supposed to appeal to our sense of excitement and think that this car is just really amazing, and that the engine has the power of that monster. Now, the next part of your advertisement, once you have your audience on the hook, is giving them information about your product. You have to tell them things they need to know about why they should buy it. So first you would describe what your product actually does. If we can't tell, there's no reason to buy it. Then you want to say why it's the best option. So you might give some comparisons to the competition. You also want to give examples that will make your customer think they absolutely need to run out and buy that product. So let's take a look at some examples. Here we have a print ad, and this is for a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. We have some language here that tells you it's a fistful of cleaning kapow. All right, so the word cleaning is in there. Magic Eraser also tells that it's going to erase some stains. In my 5-star ratings underneath, it says, gets out stains and makes cleaning stoves easy. So it tells me right there what the product does. At the bottom, I also have an infographic. Wet, squeeze, erase tells me how to use it. So this information is very self-explanatory in my ad. Now let's take a look at a video ad that uses information.
A singular new design, a re-engineered chip, and 5G. This is iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay, so now we know what the ad is about.
Stainless steel. The ceramic shield on the front.
It's listing
is
some
tougher than
features,
any smartphone glass.
telling what it's made out of.
and tighter borders allow for even larger Super Retina XDR displays.
All right, we see how the person can use it.
5G is set to change the world with radically faster speeds. The hardware and software have been optimized for the best 5G experience. A14 Bionic has a smaller 5-nanometer
We see the type of
transistor,
chip.
which pushes the most powerful chip in the smartphone generations ahead. A new and improved Pro camera system.
And
makes
here
the
we
12
even
Pro
have
the
information in
photographer's
print
iPhone.
that's
The larger
comparing
iPhone
two different
12 Pro
models of the
Max
phone and
takes
some of
these
the features
innovations
that they
even
offer.
further.
So this is loaded with information about that model of iPhone. So you can see that information about your product is very important because it tells a person why they should want it. Next, we're going to take a look at a call to action. And this is when you really want to pull out all the stops. You want to get your customer base to actually take the next step and go buy it. So you want to make sure that you use verbs telling them exactly what you want the people to do. Are they going to go shop? Are they going to sign up maybe for a subscription service? Are they going to go discover and research and find new things? Are they going to try it? Do you want them to watch something, maybe like a YouTube channel where you want them to subscribe? Or are they going to start and begin a new habit based on your product? You also want to give some reasons why they need it and make it urgent, like they really can't wait. They've got to do it now. So let's take a look at more examples. We have 3 ways that you're going to call to action. They're based on a Greek language, but they make sense when we explain them. We're going to talk about pathos, logos, and ethos. And let's take a little more in-depth look at them. So with pathos, this is a technique that appeals to your emotions. And you might think of the words sympathy, empathy. They have that P-A-T-H root in them. They feature testimony and personal narratives. They might appeal to your sympathy or passion and what you appreciate about things. They might feature direct quotes from people who have used products. They can have loaded language and descriptions that try to get the audience to really feel something. The key element in pathos is emotion. It's a persuasive technique that will try to convince your audience through all the different emotions. You might see a cute animal, a devastated family, a love story, someone who's overcoming great odds, or an inspirational song or imagery. These emotions create responses, and in our increasingly consumer-driven culture, the response is to buy something. Next, we're going to talk about logos. Logos is a technique which appeals to your reason. In one of these, you might see statistics or data. It's going to appeal to your logical reasoning, and logic is the root of logos. You might also see some cause and effect statements that are also known as if-then. You'll also see evidence that appears to be sound and convincing. So the key element in a logos type of persuasion is facts and logic. It's the persuasive technique that aims to convince an audience by using your reason and logical appeal. You'll see it in advertisements that include statistics, facts, charts, and graphs. It might remind you of asking someone to listen to reason during an argument. That's exactly what logos does. Historical data and surveys are also used in logos advertisements. Technology advertisements use logos because their goal is to showcase cool new features. They also sometimes use buzzwords to sell the product. And what's a really good example of that? Sometimes food companies will mention that there's no byproducts, that things are organic, and that kind of appeals to your reason that you want to eat healthy. So logos is going to be based on information. The third persuasive technique that we are going to explore is ethos. Ethos is a technique which builds trust. You might see celebrity or credible experts. They might just be famous people that you admire that don't have much to do with the product, but you know them and you trust them based on how you know them. You'll see some examples soon. These ads can also describe the person's expertise or knowledge on the subject, and they often provide a rationale or rebuttal for why this product is valuable to your life. Ethos is the persuasive technique that appeals to an audience by highlighting credibility. So this is something that you can believe in, that you can trust, that you know is reliable. Ethos examples aim to convince the audience that the advertiser is reliable and ethical. Ethical is the root that ethos comes from. It's easier to make a decision when someone that you respect signs off on it. And an esteemed public figure endorses products. That also validates it to the end consumer. So let's take a look at some examples. Here we have some examples in print. Now, when you take a look at the pathos example, you see somebody with a prosthetic leg, and the ad is made by BMW asking people not to drink and drive. So it's meant to make you think that BMW really cares about you, and that striking image of the prosthetic leg is meant to trigger an emotional response. Next, we're going to look at the Logos example, and that's for Caterpillar tools. People now call it just CAT. It's meant to make you think of the quality of the product and that it's logical to invest in a higher priced quality product of a known name brand rather than something that may not be as high quality. If you look, we even have statistics mentioned. It says in the yellow bar that it increases production by 5% and that you have the series buckets that will increase production by 15%. So those are some statistics that are used in this Logos logical advertisement. The third example, Ethos, features a celebrity endorsement. David Beckham is used here to endorse the watch company of Rolex. And it's because he's someone who's well known, he's admired, and so it makes you think that you can trust his opinion if that's the watch that he uses. It's also a status symbol because Rolex is supposed to be a very high quality watch. So those are 3 print examples. Now we're going to take a look at some video examples. Our first example here is playing to your emotions. We already see someone with their pet dog. The music, the imagery, they're both meant to invoke feelings. You're wondering, is the dog okay? You're concerned and you're already watching. It's taking you through sentimental moments in her life where she's moved. It'll also show you her graduation that had her dog.
Only Colgate Total has an antibacterial
Here is
ingredient.
our
It
Logos
attaches to teeth
example
to
in
form a
video.
protective shield that's clinically
You
proven
believe
to
your
protect
dentist,
against a
right? They
complete
went to
range of
school to
oral
learn
health
how to take
problems
care of
for
your
a full
teeth.
12 hours.
So this toothpaste
No other
commercial
toothpaste can do
is
that.
playing off the trust
Only
that you
Colgate
have
Total
in your
reduces plaque
dentist.
by up to 98% and gingivitis by up to 88%.
All those statistics.
Clean. Even right after lunch, the plaque didn't come back.
My gums are healthier, stronger.
I
All right,
recommend
so
it
it's
because I saw
logical
results.
because we have this
Colgate
person
Total
here
has
telling
complete
us.
12-hour protection.
For a free product trial, visit ColgateTotal.com/offer. Colgate Total, #1 recommended by dental
Our
professionals.
next example
Complete
is going
12-hour
to be
protection.
Ethos. So we see Kevin Durant, and he's playing basketball. He's going up for a shot, and he's blocked. Oh, what a nightmare. So we have our celebrity endorsement here. Now we see him working hard, but what's really going to help him? The Gatorade. And I know that clip ended quite suddenly, but in that clip, you did have the admiration and belief in Kevin Durant as a celebrity, helping to build ethos in the product. All right, so along with your method of persuasion, you're also going to try to develop a tagline. A tagline is when you come up with a catchphrase. You want to make sure that your catchphrase is catchy and memorable. Sometimes there's music that goes along with it that really can get it stuck in your head. Then it becomes known as a jingle. Sometimes taglines rhyme, or it might just be something that's fun to say and have some type of fun word in it. But really, you need to make sure that it leaves the consumer with a positive impression. Even if it's something that gets stuck in their head, it should make them happy. So let's take a look at some examples. Here's a print example, and we have Odell Beckham Jr. catching the ball, and at the bottom is the very famous Nike tagline, "Just do it." This image shows his athleticism and appeals to you to buy Nike products to be just like him. Then we're going to take a look at some video examples. We have 4 quick slogans from well-known companies. Take a look.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
You tell me, what's in your wallet?
KFC. It's finger looking good.
Shipping on your schedule. What can Brown do for you?
I bet you know even more famous taglines. So now that we're getting ready to actually create your pitch, you need to think to yourself, what was the most effective type of persuasion? Remember, we talked about the 3 most used types of persuasion: pathos, logos, and ethos. Which one do you think is most effective? After you decide that, you're going to go on to create the 3rd part of your assignment for week 2. You need to plan your pitch. Good luck and happy inventing.